Have you ever felt that the right word is on the tip of your tongue, but you just cannot get it out? This happens to everyone, and there are good reasons in the brain why it is so difficult. The first reason is that speaking needs recall, not just recognition. When we read or listen, our brain can recognize words easily because small cues are enough to activate memory. But when we try to speak, we need to pull the word out from memory without external hints. The neurons that store this word must fire together in the correct pattern. If the pattern is weak or incomplete, the word does not appear. Another reason is that the word may not have fully moved into semantic memory yet. Semantic memory is where words and meanings live in a stable form, ready for automatic use. If the word is only partly learned, it might exist in episodic memory, which stores the context of learning, like the lesson, the page in the textbook, or the moment you heard it. To retrieve it, your brain has to reconstruct the word from these past experiences, and this takes more time and effort. The hippocampus and cortical networks help rebuild the memory, but if the connections are weak, recall can fail. That is why sometimes you know that you learned a word, but you cannot find it immediately when speaking. The good news is that there are ways to make word retrieval easier. One way is to learn words connected by a common theme. For example, when learning words about the kitchen, the neurons for stove, knife, plate, and cup fire together more often, creating a stronger network. Later, activating one word can help the others come to mind more easily. Another way is to learn words by part of speech, because verbs, nouns, and adjectives activate slightly different circuits in the brain. Verbs are often linked to motor areas because they describe actions, while nouns are linked more to sensory and visual areas. Organizing words this way helps the brain find them faster when needed. Another key principle is to practice recall, not just recognition. It is easy to read a list of words and feel that you know them because you recognize them on the page. But recognition does not make the memory pattern strong enough for automatic retrieval. When you try to actively recall words from memory, for example, when you look at the list of words in your native language, your brain strengthens the neural connections. The neurons in your memory networks fire together repeatedly, creating a more stable and accessible pattern. Your brain gets used to moving from a meaning to a foreign word. Over time, this makes speaking faster and easier because your brain has multiple pathways to reach each word. So the next time you struggle to find the right word, remember that it is normal. The difficulty comes from the way your memory works. Recognition is easy, but recall requires active searching. Words in episodic memory are harder to access than those in semantic memory. By learning words in themes, grouping them by part of speech, and practicing recall instead of just recognition, you train your neural networks to fire together more efficiently. The more you practice, the more automatic word retrieval becomes, and speaking starts to flow more naturally.